You cannot see where this is going. That is the thing that keeps you up at night, isn't it? Not just the difficulty itself, but the not knowing. The situation that has no clear resolution. The relationship that hangs suspended somewhere between what it was and what you hope it might become. The future that refuses to come into focus no matter how many times you lie awake trying to bring it into view. You are standing at the edge of something unfamiliar, and you cannot see the other side. And every version of your imagination has tried to fill in that gap with something. Sometimes hope, sometimes dread, sometimes just static. But nothing quite fits. This morning is for you, specifically for you, and for the particular kind of tired that comes from carrying the unseen for a long time. It is for the part of you that is still holding on, genuinely holding on, not giving up, still showing up, while also bearing the weight of the unknown. This space is for that particular kind of faith, the kind that doesn't feel like faith because it doesn't feel like certainty. It feels more like standing in a doorway, waiting for your eyes to adjust, willing to step forward, but not yet able to see where the foot will land. Let yourself settle here for a moment. You do not have to resolve anything in the next 22 minutes. You do not have to arrive at clarity or cross some threshold into peace before this ends. You just have to be present. And sometimes being present, bringing your actual, unfinished, still wondering self into the presence of God, is the whole prayer. God does not require you to have it together before you come. God is exactly where the unresolved things get to rest. The writer of Hebrews declares in chapter 11, verse 1, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." Confidence in what we hope for. Assurance about what we do not see. Two phrases, and both of them are entirely about the unseen, about the gap between where you stand right now and where you cannot yet look. Faith, according to this definition, is not the absence of uncertainty. It is not the feeling of knowing. It is not the emotion of confidence. It is the posture you hold toward the unknown, a posture of expectation, of trust, of leaning in the direction of God even when you cannot see where God is leading, because you have come to know something about who God is. The word translated confidence in the original Greek is hypostasis. It literally means a foundation, a substance, a settled underlying reality. Faith is not wishful thinking built on air. Faith has substance. It is grounded in the character, the track record, the unbroken faithfulness of the one you are trusting. When the writer says, faith is confidence in what we hope for, they are not describing a manufactured feeling you work yourself into by repeating the right phrases. They are describing the settled orientation of a heart that has come to know God as reliable, and rests in that knowledge even when the circumstances are unreadable, and the map seems to end here. And assurance about what we do not see. That word in Greek is elegchos. It means evidence, proof, the kind of tested conclusion that settles a case. It is the language of conviction arrived at through careful consideration of what you actually know. The faith described here is not naivety. It is not closing your eyes to reality. It has looked at the evidence, the faithfulness of God in history, in Scripture, in your own particular story. The moments when things were darkest and God was still present, still working, still bringing something forward that you could not have anticipated. And on the basis of that evidence, it holds its position even in the fog. You are not naive for trusting what you cannot see. That trust is not weakness. It is not wishful thinking masquerading as spirituality. It is a conclusion, arrived at through everything you have already lived and witnessed, that the God who was faithful then has not changed. The God who brought you through what you honestly did not know you would survive is the same God who stands on the other side of whatever you are facing now. Even though you cannot see that other side yet. Even though you cannot confirm it. The confirmation is in what has already been confirmed. Think about what Hebrews 11 does after this opening definition. It does not stay in the abstract. It names people, specific people, with specific stories, with specific situations that looked impossible, and it walks through what they did. Abel, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Sarah, Moses, Rahab. And in each story, the pattern is remarkably consistent. They acted on what they believed about God without being able to see where it would lead. Abraham left his home not knowing where he was going. The text says it plainly. He went even though he did not know where he was going. Noah built an ark in a landscape that had never seen rain. Sarah, well past the season of bearing children, received strength because she considered faithful the one who had made the promise. She held her confidence not in her circumstances, but in the character of the one speaking. And the impossible happened. Not immediately, not on a comfortable timeline, not without waiting and wondering and, if we are honest about what it must have felt like, without moments of doubt. But the impossible happened. Because faith is not just a feeling, it is a foundation, and foundations hold. But here is the part Hebrews 11 does not protect you from, and it is important. Verse 13. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance. Some of them died without seeing the resolution in their lifetime. Their faith was not rewarded with a tidy conclusion. And yet, and this is the staggering thing, the text does not call their faith insufficient. It calls them commendable. It says the world was not worthy of them. Their trust in the unseen was itself something of eternal weight. That is difficult to hold, and we should not rush past it. Faith is not a formula that guarantees you will see the resolution you are waiting for in your preferred timeline, in your lifetime, in the form you have imagined. Faith is the trust that God is not finished, that the arc of His love bends somewhere beyond where you can see, and that the bending is real, whether or not you witness it. This is not cruelty. This is the acknowledgement that you and I are part of a story that is larger than our own chapter. And yet, and this is equally true, that same God is also the God who shows up in the particular, who sees the one, who knew you by name before you were born, who counts the hairs on your head and knows what you carried into this morning and why it weighs what it weighs. The unseen future is not held by an indifferent cosmic force. It is held by a personal, engaged, relentlessly loving presence who is at work right now in the parts of your life that make no sense to you at all. There is a companion word in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18, where Paul writes, "So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." Fix our eyes. There is intention in that phrase. Deliberate, practiced, returning orientation toward what cannot be seen with physical eyes. Not denial of what is visible, but recognition that the visible is not the whole story. What is visible is the surface layer, the temporary rendering. The eternal runs underneath it, and the eternal is where God is most fully at work. What is eternal this morning? The love of God, which the Apostle Paul says in Romans 8, cannot be separated from you by any circumstance, any height, any depth, any power, anything present, or anything to come. The faithfulness of God, which Lamentations declares is new every morning. Not renewed because it was exhausted, but continuously fresh because its source is inexhaustible. The purposes of God, which Isaiah says will not return void, will accomplish what God intends, and will prosper in what God sends them to do. These are the eternal things. They are unseen. They are more real than anything you can touch. So you are not standing in the dark without a foundation. You are standing in the dark with the greatest foundation there is, the character of God, proven through your own life, confirmed in the lives of every person who has held this faith before you. The fog is real. The uncertainty is real. And so is the one who sees through it. It helps sometimes to name what you actually believe about who God is. Not what you feel in this moment, but what you have come to know. Not what your circumstances are confirming, but what your history has shown. Because the anxiety of the unseen has a way of crowding out the memory of the seen. You forget, in the middle of the waiting, all the times the waiting ended. You forget the answers that arrived. Not always in the form you expected, sometimes better, sometimes simply different in a way that turned out to be grace. The mind under pressure is not a good curator of evidence. It curates for threat. And so the practice of faith is partly the practice of deliberately remembering. God has been here before, and God will be here again. There is also something worth naming about the nature of the unseen that we so often miss. We assume that unseen means absent. We assume that if we cannot perceive what God is doing, God must not be doing anything. But this is exactly what Hebrews pushes back against. The chapter opens with a definition precisely because the author knew that the people reading it were struggling with the same thing you are struggling with this morning. How do you hold faith when you have nothing visible to hold on to? The answer is not look harder. The answer is trust deeper. Because what God is doing in the unseen is not nothing. It is often the most significant work of all. The slow, invisible preparation that looks like absence and turns out to be foundation. Think of winter. The ground is bare. The trees stand stripped. Everything that was green and full has retreated into itself, and from the surface, the picture looks like ending. But underground, in the cold and the quiet, the root systems are spreading. The bulbs are forming. The whole apparatus of spring is being constructed, in the dark, out of sight. And no amount of watching the surface will show you what is happening underground. That is not a metaphor I invented. It is the pattern God built into the world. The most important work often happens where you cannot see it. And it is happening right now, in the unseen places of your story, whether you can confirm it or not. Not the resolution of it, just the rest. I do not know what comes next, and I know who does. I cannot see the way through, and I know who already stands at the end of it, calling me forward, patient and unafraid. That is not contradiction. That is the exact shape of faith. Held, unseen, confident. The thing you are waiting for may not have arrived yet. The clarity you have been asking for may still be forming somewhere you cannot see. And both of those things are okay. They do not mean the answer is no. They do not mean you have been forgotten. They mean you are still in the chapter before the revelation, and even that chapter is part of the story God is telling. Even the waiting has meaning. Even the dark has direction. So let us come to prayer now, not to present a resolution plan, not to argue for the outcome we prefer or petition our way into a faster timeline, but simply to be with the God who holds everything we cannot see, and to practice the posture of trust in this quiet moment, so that when the full weight of the day arrives, that posture is already somewhere in our bones. God, I come to you this morning carrying things I cannot resolve, things I have prayed about, things I have tried to figure out, things I have handed over and then taken back because the waiting felt too long. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm just naming it honestly because I think you already know, and I want to stop pretending to be further along than I am. There are futures I cannot see that are keeping me awake. There are questions I've been holding so long they've started to feel like permanent furniture. There are situations that feel stuck, not moving, not resolving, not opening, just sitting there on the edge of something I can't name. I bring all of that here, not to drop it and walk away, but to bring it into the same room as you and let your presence do what mine cannot. You are faithful. I know that. Not as a line I'm supposed to say, but as something I have actually experienced. You have been faithful in my own story. There have been moments I did not see how you would come through, and you did. There have been seasons I thought would not end, and they did. The evidence of your faithfulness is in my own past, and I want to let that past speak louder than my present fear. Help me to hold my unseen things with open hands today. The relationship I'm waiting on, the healing that hasn't come yet, the direction that is still unclear. Help me to hold them, not with white-knuckled anxiety, not with the grip of someone who thinks it all depends on them, but with the open-palmed posture of a person who knows the one who holds the outcome and trusts that holding. Give me today the faith described in Hebrews. Not the smooth, never-doubted kind, the kind that has already been through hard things and is still here. The kind that has looked at evidence and arrived at conviction. The kind that stays even when staying is difficult. The kind that says, I cannot see it yet, but I believe you are doing something. When I catch myself calculating worst-case scenarios today, spinning into the futures I am most afraid of, rehearsing losses that have not yet happened, gently bring me back. You do not need me to predict what comes next. You need me to trust you in what is present right now. Let me do that, just this moment, just the next step, trusting that the step after that is already yours to give. For the things I am hoping for that have not arrived yet, the hopes I carry quietly because I have been carrying them so long I'm almost afraid to let myself want them anymore. Let my hope be grounded not in the likelihood of the outcome, but in the character of the one I am hoping toward. You have not changed. The God who held every unseen promise throughout Hebrews 11 is the same God who holds mine. There is also this. I want to stop measuring your work by what I can observe. I know you are doing things I cannot see. I know the root systems are spreading in the winter dark. I know the forming is happening even in the silence. Help me to trust what I know even when I cannot feel it. Help me to rest in the truth that confidence in what I hope for is itself a kind of seeing, the deepest kind, the kind that holds when everything visible shakes. You are working. That has always been enough. And when the day grows long and I grow tired, and the questions come back with their same familiar weight, Let me remember what I brought here this morning. The word of the one who has never broken a promise. The record of a faithfulness that stretches further than my worry. And the quiet, settled knowing that you hold what I cannot see, with the same certainty that you hold what I can. That is more than I need to take the next step. It is everything. Fix my eyes today, Lord, on the unseen. Not away from my life, not in denial of what is real and hard and pressing, but underneath it, where the eternal things are, where your faithfulness is running like a river beneath everything, where your purposes are forming in the quiet dark, where your love is at work right now in ways I cannot trace but can trust. And in the moments when I lose my grip on that, when the fog feels total and the silence feels empty and the waiting feels pointless, remind me, this is where faith lives. Not in the clear and certain places, in the doorways, in the threshold moments, in the standing at the edge, unable to see places. That is exactly where faith is most itself. And that is exactly where you are most present. I give you my unknowing this morning. All of it. Every question mark, every unresolved situation, every future I cannot see and cannot control and cannot stop thinking about. I give it to you, not because I have figured out how to let go, but because you are more trustworthy than my best guess. You are more faithful than my fear, and your vision reaches further than mine ever could. Thank you for going before me into the days I cannot see. Thank you that the unseen is not unknown to you. Thank you that what I call waiting, you may call forming, and that the forming is real and it is good, and it is moving towards something. I trust you with what I cannot see, with what I cannot understand, with today and with every tomorrow stretching out beyond the edge of what my eyes can reach. Amen.